What's up, guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am your host, and today we are going to be talking about Edinburgh, Scotland. Yes, we all know how haunted the UK can be, but Edinburgh, Scotland has one of the most haunted places on earth, and that is going to be its castle. But not only is the castle haunted, but its kirkyard is also haunted, and also the vaults, which the vaults are super popular, but we will save that for our last story. Alright, so the first location that we are going to be talking about is going to be the Greyfriars Kirkyard. Not only is this kirkyard really cool, but it actually inspires some of the Harry Potter characters and even the Harry Potter's kirkyard itself. This kirkyard was found in 1561, and even though it's been a resting place for so many people, some just, decided to stay in a haunted place because they thought it was a great idea. One of the popular spirits that is believed to haunt the kirkyard is going to be Sir George Mckenzie. He was known as Bloody Mckenzie for imprisoning and torturing so many people who didn't follow the national religion. All over, he had claimed over 18,000 Scots. And it's been rumored that someone, I think it was a homeless person, actually broke into the mausoleum, and when they tried to get into Sir Mackenzie's tomb, they actually, they fell in, and of course there was not just only one body, but there was multiple bodies inside the tomb, which was a lot of skin and bones and dust and gross things. So I bet that he won't be trying to get into that tomb anytime soon. And it's been reported that there is even a dog spirit. Yep, I said it. There's a dog spirit that wanders around the kirkyard. A man by the name of John Gray had passed away, and, of course, him being the loyal animal that he was, he stayed with him until he also passed away. But the coolest part is that whenever they found the dog that had passed away, they actually buried him not too far away from John himself. And it said that some people have even heard barking and whimpering of a dog while being at their kirkyard. But of course, on top of all the spooky things that have happened here, there is some malevolent spirits, of course, wandering around. I mean, it's only been a huge kirkyard for a whole bunch of wars and shenanigans. I don't doubt at all that there is some crazy, scary spirits there. Some say that they have heard unexplainable noises and also waves of feeling nauseous just from walking around the kirkyard. It sounds like a beautiful kirkyard. But I mean, if you want to go visit it because there is characters from Harry Potter movies, I'll go ahead and I'll put some pictures, around here, there, everywhere. So you guys can see it. In that case, it's a pretty cool churchyard. Yeah. So the next haunted place that we are going to be talking about is going to be the Edinburgh Castle. This place alone had so much history and so many haunted things happen. It's crazy, guys. It's super crazy. I'm going to tell you guys a whole bunch, but you also need to look it up for yourself because it's just that intense. It's said that this castle has been there since the Iron Ages, but the earliest known king that had ruled over the kingdom was King David I. He did also build a chapel, and he named it after his mother, St. Margaret. After Scotland's and England's long war for independence, in 1314 it was finally reclaimed. Then, in the 1500s, it became a national military base for many bloody years. So we can only imagine how much energy and haunted shenanigans this castle has collected over the years. I'm sure lots of spirits are walking up and down those castles, thinking that they still It has had at least 26 wars at the castle itself. Bloody battles, which makes it literally the bloodiest castle known to history. That's disgusting. And today it is known as a tourist attraction that gives out tours not only to talk about its roller coaster history, but to talk about the spirits that have also resided there. In 2001, a psychologist by Dr. Richard Wiseman actually decided to do an experiment there, and he did it with over 200 people that have never been to the castle or had any knowledge of its history. A lot of the things that people have reported, a lot of them reported the feeling of being touched, the feeling of being watched, the feeling like the burning sensation of whenever you get scratched or burned, the feeling like someone was brushing their face with their hand gently. Like, that's gross. Can you just imagine that, just walking through a castle trying to get to, learn about it, then all of a sudden you feel like a hand is touching your... On top of all that gross other little stuff, people have reported the feeling of their clothes being tugged at. Some have even reported that the temperature even felt cooler. So not only did those people feel things, but they actually saw things as well. There are reports of seeing shadow figures, apparitions of a male spirit wearing old clothing. There have been sights of a female spirit as well. Some believe it's the spirit of Janet Douglas. During the 1500s, she was thrown into a dungeon for supposed witchcraft. While she was in the dungeon, they tortured her family for evidence and tried to get as much as they could against Janet. Eventually, poor Janet was burned alive while her 16-year-old son was forced to watch. That poor kid. Not only is your mother being called a witch for things that she might have not even been, but on top of it, you're watching her get burned alive in front of your eyes. That's pretty heartbreaking. People are cruel, man. People are fucking cruel. So, not only is there a phantom dog at the Kirkyard, but apparently there is actually a phantom dog at the castle as well. And these same reports have been mentioned also in the vaults, that they have seen a black dog walk past them. They can feel the dog, I guess, brush against their legs, and then the dog just kind of vanishes as he walks away. And there is actually proof of people catching what they think is a howling dog or a barking dog in evidence, such as EVPs. Also been reports of a headless drummer boy a long time ago who they considered as a bad omen. But thankfully, he only appears when something bad is going to happen. So people haven't seen him in a very, very long time. And let's try to keep it that way, because no one wants to... Well, can you imagine walking around, the corner of a castle, and all of a sudden you're seeing, a little drummer boy with no head. He's like... Duh, 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 and I'd be like, nope, sir, not today, goodbye. So, apparently there is also a maze of tunnels underneath the castle. And a long time ago, they actually commanded a piper to go down into the tunnels and to play his pipes, just to see how far the tunnels would go. However, whenever the piper was walking through the tunnels, all of a sudden the music stopped and the piper actually vanished. Guards and even a rescue party was sent to go look for him. Yet, no trace of the piper was ever found. Some say that they still hear every once in a while the sound of the piper playing his music as he walks hauntingly through the castle maze. So speaking of the Piper Boy, let's just go ahead and start talking about the vaults, because that's a really, really cool one too. The vaults were used as taverns, cobbler shops, workshops, and a hotspot for tradesmen and merchantmen. But after a while, it became a terrible spot, and lots of criminal activity and shenanigans like illegal gambling and illegal distillery started happening at the taverns. In the 1900s, it became a local hotspot for poor Irish that had migrated in and also homeless people. However, the legal activity just only got worse. So guys, when I say that things were getting bad, I'm talking about along with all the criminal activity when people were murdering each other and murdering prostitutes. They would actually keep those bodies there overnight in the vaults. And then whenever it became nighttime, they would go up and they would go sell the bodies to science. And they would go get money for them. Yep, they were called body snatchers on top of being murderers. Right. And apparently, even the famous serial killer duo, Rick and Hare, they were actually in on this too. And they were getting in on the body soul and science thing. Then, on top of all that gruesome bloody mess, but somewhere between that time and the 80s, things kind of died out. And then satanic occults, and then witchcraft, and all of that lovely dark magic decided to sprinkle itself all over there. And some resources even say that they took a lady down to the vaults and used her as a sacrifice and buried her within. Have heard disembodied voices, and others say that they have had scratches and have even felt their clothes being tugged on. History, I do not doubt that there is a lot of that negative, dark energy built up. Of the very known spirits that reside in those vaults is a tall, shaggy man, which people know him as Mr. Boots. Mr. Boots isn't the nicest of people. He is a very angry man, and he will throw things at you. He will tell you to get out of his vaults. Rumors say that he could have been a miner, but no one really knows. For all we know, he was one of the guys who rented out the little taverns or something, and that didn't get his way because all the illegal shenanigans was going on. But apparently, while people are giving tours, they will follow behind them with heavy boots, or what it sounds like heavy boots, walking behind them. People have said that their clothes have been tugged on. Some people say they have even been pushed. There is also another spirit that is very popular to the vaults, and he's a little boy named Jack. Apparently, he will also follow people around the vaults, and sometimes he will even tug on the clothes, he will throw pebbles on you, and people have even reported of feeling like there was a child or a small child holding their hand. And to this day, tons of paranormal groups actually go and visit there. They get EVPs, and some even catch apparitions. Well guys, that was definitely some spooky places I would recommend to visit in Edinburgh, Scotland. They sound super cool, so if you are visiting this channel and you guys have been there, please leave me a comment and tell me how cool it was, or if you guys have any kind of information about this place. I would like you guys to also leave a comment about that, because I don't know, I just thought this place was like super, super cool. So go ahead, leave a comment. If not, go ahead and like and subscribe, and I will be seeing you guys on the next video.